This will be Mike's 19th season at Canyons and his 5th in snow safety. He lives in Cottonwood Heights with easy canyon access to ski, climb, or run in any of the nearby canyons. He likes to travel with his wife, Barbara, and their favorite trip this summer was to Majorca to rock climb and paddle. And they go there each fall. Thanks so much for coming back in, and please give a warm round of applause to Mike Craig.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Thank
Okay.
you, Caroline. Alrighty. Going back to last season in the middle of February, we had just received our third repeater cycle. Large wall-to-wall slides, crowns were multiple feet deep. Bed surfaces once again were left thin, weak, unable to heal, as each storm continued to bring more reactivity in both natural and human-triggered slides. So we're going to look at our main avalanche problem from last season, specifically repeaters. How they form and become a problem, why they stay reactive for so long, and finally, how they heal. They'll come in 3 main cycles, and by the second and third rounds, we're going to see more spread out reactivity from different storms, and it's going to create a lot of variation within the snowpack from path to path in almost every single drainage. So to begin, we have 3 options for a buried drought layer PWL. The first is for poor snow years. This is when it never snows enough to form a slab above the PWL to either heal it or to cause an avalanche. These years will be poor skiing, thin coverage, but with predictable avalanches, generally safe conditions. Then we have option 2, the opposite of this. This is when it snows copious amounts, you have a widespread cycle, but then a strong slab builds up, forces that weak layer to heal, and you normally see long-term stability. This will be similar to 2 years ago when, on a thin week early season snowpack similar to this year, we have a huge storm over 5 days in mid-January. Things get fat, especially in Park City where we could benefit from the westerly wind loading more. And we're seeing healing profiles within a week after that storm. So these years will be good skiing, and then also with predictable avalanches, generally safe conditions. Then we have option 3, between the two, something more similar to what happened last year. This is when it snows, but never enough to form a slab above the PWL, because each storm continues to bring more reactivity. So these years will also be good skiing, but with unpredictable avalanches, generally unsafe conditions. To look at snow profiles before their initial loading event from the last 2 years, the PWL development's very similar for each season. On the left, around 70 centimeters, we had that October PWL down low, a great bed surface for it to slide on, and then a crust on top as well to keep it even more insulated. Then we just had that weak snow on top that sat from November into early December, forming the early December NSF layer. This setup's going to lead to easy step-down avalanches the first cycle, and then in the late January drought that we'll look at, they're going to form 1 PWL before the second cycle begins. Then on the right, depth's closer to 1 meter since we got 3 more feet of snow 2 years ago in the earliest of winter. That lower PWL healed fairly quickly, and we were mainly dealing with the surface snow that sat during the 3-week drought in December, forming the December NSF layer. Now with similar profiles, we're going to look at how last year we were unable to leave that option 3 when we started to receive snowfall, but we were unable to form a slab to heal the PWL. The first cycle is going to begin on the 29th when we get 30 inches of snow stacked up over 2 days, and these big wall-to-wall results, mainly hard slabs, along the biggest pass of the Park City Ridgeline. Square top, both monitors in Katy, a big one in Dutch Draw as well. One in the snow fences on the right in McDonald's Draw, that Nutty Putty Ridge. That'll fail 2 more times, connecting that snow fence area as well. Then on the left, our final explosive triggered slide, bringing us to January 12th, when we get 20 more inches of snow. It's from 2 2-pounders on that mid-cliff band. And this 2-week period of snowfall wraps up with around 50 to 60 inches in Park City. Looking at these 2 profiles, that storm on the 27th came in with 0 to calm wind. Snow fell almost straight down and almost nothing was done to disrupt the PWL connectivity. It keeps these well-preserved, well-connected, uniform, leads to an easy cycle here. And then another one, especially after sitting through the late January drought. But it's right now in the season, when these January storms wrap up in the middle of the month, before that drought takes hold, that we did begin to see some healing in terrain with depths over 1 meter. It's right now in the season, if we would have received continuous snowfall in mid-January, that we could have had a totally different year with a much stronger snowpack and much quicker PWL healing. But instead of snowfall, we get a 10-day drought to finish January, sub-zero temps, extremely cold for Utah. The snowpack's crushed after this. Any healing's now totally reversed. The thin repeater sites and other extreme terrain are fully faceted. Also during this first cycle is our work stoppage, and many of us watch these huge results from the bottom of our ski area. Coming back to work after 12 days off and 60 inches of new snow on such a weak pack is going to be no easy task to open this avalanche terrain. We could have bailed on any of these three pieces if we needed to and come back in more stability, but it ends up going pretty well, and here's what happens. We start with the abyss. It's steep, 40 to 50 degrees, many terrain features to block early season PWL connectivity, and that's what happens. We get wall-to-wall soft slab results from the most recent January storm, and this opens after proofing. Then we move to 99. 90 had been opened previously in the middle of December, after we worked on what that sandbox became for a month prior, breaking up the October PWL and the weak November snow. We get it open for 8 or 9 days to the public. It closes due to thin coverage, but totally fine. The public compacted that weak December snow perfectly. When we go back for mitigation in mid-January, by now, 99's been closed for 3 to 4 weeks. We have 60 inches of new snow. We get new snow results only on any inbounds terrain. We get new snow results only on any inbounds terrain. Minimal results after proofing. 99 has a phenomenal opening. The exact same thing happens 2 years prior when, as I said before, in a thin week early season pack with buried but broken up PWLs, we're knocked out of 99 during that mid-January storm, 70 inches 2 years ago. When we come back, new snow results only. That's for both seasons. Both seasons as well. Large old snow slide on the ridge going to square top, with last year's being that hanging snowfield result. So it's super important to us, these drought snow years, we get 99 open early with thin coverage, much better than waiting for increased coverage that'll bring increased hazards, increased instability, as terrain can always close once it's compacted. Then we move to Murdoch. It's east facing 9,400 feet. Here, the sun was able to melt the early season snow everywhere but the northeast aspect where it kept the December facets. We get a large result here on mitigation, and this can open after proofing as well. So even after a break, we're just now back to monitoring the backcountry for larger results and dealing with new snow instabilities on inbounds terrain for the rest of the year. Anyway, back to the repeaters. We left off after the January drought. Repeater sites are now fully faceted. We're ready for more reactivity, and we get it. It's from 10 inches of snow, extreme winds from a variety of directions. Then the second cycle is going to start with some smaller human-triggered slides.